Hello, welcome to our fifth lecture on exponents. Now, you might have noticed that in the title, I said that this is section R6, and that's true from the textbook. It's section R6, but this is our fifth lecture. We're skipping R5. So just getting into exponents, and then we'll get into radicals as well. So exponents, just some of the basics. If I have b to the n, that means I'm multiplying b by itself n times. Assuming that n is some positive integer. Also, b to the 0 is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Now, here's something that's a little new. Well, again, let's assume that n is positive. If I take b to the minus n, what that negative does is it transports you across the fraction sign. Now, you can think of where we started as b to the negative n over 1. So you can think of it as a fraction in that sense. And so that negative exponent moves you down into the denominator, and then you just have b to the positive n down there. So for example, if I want to take 2 to the negative third power, then this negative in the exponent, that does not negate my number overall, but rather it transports you. So that we have a 2 to the third in the denominator. So our answer is 1/8, and that's a positive number. Also, real quick, 6 to the 0 is 1. Any number to the 0 power is 1. Let's discuss properties. Properties of exponents, you'll want to know these. Number 1, if I have b to the m times b to the n, and notice that it's the same base b, then I can bring these together by adding the exponents. So a single b, but now to the m plus n power. Now, that is addition, not multiplication. People can get that confused oftentimes. So when is it multiplication that shows up? Well, that would be in this sort of situation, where I'm taking an exponent, all that to a power. This is when you multiply the exponents. If I have a product of two numbers to some n power, then that n exponent gets applied to both a and b. Number 4, very similar. If I have a division inside, all that being taken to the n power, then the exponent applies to both numerator and denominator. And the last property I'm going to mention, number 5, is analogous to number 1, but I'm dividing b to the m by b to the n. And as in property 1, when I added the powers, you do the analog of subtraction here. Now let's do some examples. So we're going to take the following, simplify, and express using positive exponents only. So we're placing a restriction on the form of our answer, which is something that your online homework does a lot. So I'm preparing you for that. We'll do a few parts. X to the negative 4 over x to the negative 2. All that to the minus 2 power. We want to simplify. It should be possible to get a single x, but then to some power. There's not exactly one way to do this, but I'll just show you what I want to do. I'm going to take care of the inside of the parentheses first. It's a little more in line with the order of operations, like PEMDAS, parentheses first. So inside, I have this common base, x, which means that I'm going to subtract these exponents. And careful here, this is minus negative 2. So minus a negative is a plus. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Now here I have an exponential to another power, which means I multiply. That's property 2 up here. So x to the negative 2 times negative 2. We're left with x to the positive 4. And this fits our criteria of having positive exponents only, so we're done. Part B. So we have our constant factors and we have our x factors, our y factors as well. What I want to do is begin by separating each of these. I wouldn't say you have to do it this way, but it helps you tame this beast a bit. Constant fraction times a fraction involving the x's only times fraction involving the y's only. That's my cat. So I've split these up into 3 separate fractions, which I'm allowed to do just to sort everything. Now, there are hidden factors of 3 with 9 and 6. Cancel. With the x's, remember that we do a bit of a subtraction problem with the exponents. and then a difference with the y's as well. So that becomes a -2 plus 5, and a y to the -8. Am I done? Notice the problem says using positive exponents only. This doesn't look positive to me. Well, there's a simple fix for that. I can simply move it to the denominator. Now that the y is written in the denominator, that 8 exponent is positive. Now that's nice and simplified. Part C. Well, those exponents don't look very positive either, do they? Let's start by fixing them. Instead of x to the -1 power, it's 1 over x. Likewise, we have a 1 over x squared. Now notice that I can't do any canceling right now because these are not factors, but terms. In other words, I have addition instead of multiplication. So I'm not able to start slashing stuff. What I want to do then is turn these into a single fraction, both numerator and denominator. I can do that by finding a common denominator in each. One can be rewritten as x over x. And now we have that common denominator of x. 2 can be rewritten as 2x squared over x squared, which means I now have the same denominator as this one. Now I can combine those. I now have a single fraction over a single fraction. Now, fraction divided by fraction, you can reframe this as multiplication. I would do that next. Instead of dividing by a fraction, I'm multiplying by its reciprocal. Now, a little bit of cancellation happens with those x's, and that's actually it. These do look kind of similar, but they're really not the same. Right, I have to, because this is addition, I have to treat this as a single unified term. Likewise, the x plus 1 is a single unified, or factor, I should say, not term. Be precise. This is actually the farthest we can go with simplifying. All positive exponents, so done. All right, well, that's all we have to say about exponents. Now we'll get to their counterparts, radicals, next, and we'll spend a little more time on those.